Hey y'all, it's Stacey with SouthernBite.com. We're back in the kitchen today getting ready for Thanksgiving, making one of the most popular recipes that we have on the blog during the month of November. This is my sweet corn spoon bread. This recipe goes by tons of different names. There's so many variations out there, but it's just so easy and so delicious. It's the perfect complement to pretty much whatever you might have on your Thanksgiving table. To start, I've got 3 eggs here that I'm going to put in a large bowl. Now, I always recommend that when you're cracking eggs, you see people crack them on the side of the bowl. Don't do that. Crack them on the flat counter, because when we crack them on the egg, that rim of the bowl shoves shell particles up inside the egg. And when you crack it on something flat, you're gonna reduce the risk of that happening. So, if you can, crack it on something flat. Is that a foolproof method? No, but it does work. All right, to this, I'm going to add a cup of sour cream. Now, I would recommend that you go ahead and go for the full fat sour cream. It's the holidays, right? So, could you opt...
Look at your eggs, it looks like a smiley face.
Could you opt for a low-fat sour cream? You could, but it's the holidays, so go ahead and go for the full fat stuff. All right, I'm just gonna mix these together. To this, I'm going to add an 8.5 ounce box of Jiffy Corn Mix. Now, when it comes to the Jiffy Mix, this just makes the process easier. You guys know that I'm no stranger to using a convenience product, something that's already made like this. If you can't find this, or if for whatever reason you can't get your hands on it or don't want to use a prepackaged mix, you can always Google Jiffy Mix replacement, and there are tons of recipes out there where you can make this particular mix from scratch. That's just going to go right in our box here. Mix this together. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of salt to this. Now, as I was saying, there are tons of variations on this recipe. You really could do so many things using this as a base. You could add in cheddar cheese. You could add in a can of like green chilies, jalapenos, green onions.
Okay, green onion sounds really good.
Absolutely. And you could even add some bacon maybe to this. It's just a good base for lots of different things. All right, next I'm going to add, look, I have sour cream on me. I'm going to add a 14.75 ounce can of cream style corn. Now this is where the sweetness is going to come in, this and that Jiffy Mix. I will say that if you wanted it to be sweeter, you could add in some sugar or maybe even some honey. I've seen recipes online that add in more sugar and, just to give this a sweeter taste. But that's totally personal preference. I think it's great just with the sweetness from the Jiffy Mix and this cream style corn. And if you wanted to, you could mix everything together but the eggs and give it a little taste to see if you like that sweetness before you add the eggs in. Obviously once we add eggs, we don't really want to be tasting raw eggs. I'm going to drain this. This is a 15-ounce can of whole kernel corn. I'm going to drain that well. And this is going to go right in our mixture here. And I guess this is the point really where you could add in those other things, where if you wanted to add some cheddar cheese or green onions or green chilies or jalapenos, like I said, you can really let your imagination run wild with this. I'm adding half a cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter that I've melted.
Does it matter how much cheese you put in there, or?
I think that you could probably put about a cup in there. I don't know that you'd want to do a whole lot more than that, just because.
But like if you did green chilies, you'd want to drain them first.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to add any more liquid to it if you can help it. But like one of those, I think they're 4-ounce cans of green chilies would work great. You could chop a jalapeno. a lot of people think that all the heat in jalapeno is from the seeds, but it's actually the seeds and that white part, the pith. So if you like heat, you can keep that in there. If you want to eliminate some of that heat, take those seeds and that pith out. I'm looking at my recipe here, make sure I've got all my ingredients. I do. All right, I'm going to put this in a 2-quart baking dish. I'm gonna spray this with nonstick cooking spray. If you have a big sink like this, you can spray it right here over your sink. If you don't, open the door of your dishwasher, spray your pan right over the dishwasher. That way you're not gonna get all of that overspray all over your kitchen.
Oh, so something you wish I would do.
I'm usually not the one that cleans the kitchen because I'm usually the one that cooks, but I'm sure that whoever is cleaning would appreciate not having to clean cooking spray off all the surfaces in your kitchen. All right, and that's it. It's that simple.
Let's get a good pick of this. I mean, really, just
it's so easy. Now, this isn't going to be the texture or consistency of like cornbread. That's why it's called spoon bread. It's going to be way more moist. It's going to be almost more like a corn pudding or something like that. We're going to put this in the oven at 375 degrees. This is going to bake for 40 to 50 minutes, maybe just a little bit longer. You want it to be golden brown on top and set all the way through. So check back with me in a little bit and we'll show you what happens with this. Okay, so it's been about 50 minutes and I think that that's about right. You know, it's gonna vary a little bit based on the exact size of your baking dish and your particular oven. What you're looking for here is you want this to be nice and golden brown, and when you jiggle it, you can see that it's nice and set.
It's really pretty.
This makes such a pretty dish and it's super simple. Now you're probably gonna wanna let this cool for 10 to 15 minutes before you serve it, partly because it's blazing hot, but also because the texture is gonna change a little bit as it cools.
Can you double it?
We actually get that question a lot. Yes, you can double this. You can double it, you double all the ingredients, put it in a 9x13, same temperature oven, but just keep in mind that it's probably gonna take closer to an hour for it to cook.
Well, that's not too much more time though. That's good.
No, and if you're, you know, if you're doing it for Thanksgiving and you need to feed more people, then, you know, you may need a little bit more of it. That's another great point though. We get questions a lot about with this recipe, about can we make this in advance or is there something that we can do? You know, I'm all for doing what you can ahead of schedule or ahead of the big day to save yourself time and effort. This recipe reheats really well. So if you need to make this in advance, I say make it all the way through, bake it, and then reheat it the day of just by popping it in the oven to warm it back through. And again, I hate to say this over and over again, but there's so much versatility here. You know, you could add cheese, jalapenos, bacon, whatever it is. This is gonna be stupid hot, but I can't wait. I'm gonna have a bite. I'm just gonna have a bite of this golden brown part here on the back.
How good is it?
It's so good because it's so simple. It has just that little bit of sweetness that I think really makes it. Again, you could add more sweetness to it by the way of some additional sugar or some honey or whatever. Again, it's a great dish that kind of just tastes like home. It's perfect for Thanksgiving or any time of the year for that matter. In fact, somebody told me the other day, they always bake this when they make chili. And I think that would be delicious too.
That sounds great.
So, folks, you can find this full recipe and tons more on the website. Just visit us at southernbite.com and you can use the search bar to find sweet corn spoon bread. Y'all enjoy. Hey y'all, it's Stacey with... You should have seen the dog. I'm gonna start...
Are you serious?
Just...
This is you. We should have named